After a brief hiatus, Mr. Terry, we're back horse racing today. And the second, I guess not official, but kind of official day of summer, the day after Memorial Day. How were your days off?
Oh, they were fun. I really enjoyed them. Yeah, just well, yesterday was my wedding anniversary, 29 years. So,
Oh,
we just kind of relaxed and enjoyed each other and had a nice dinner.
we all feel bad. 29 years for Honey Bunny.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, indeed. Well, congratulations on that, Terry. That's always a big milestone, right?
It was, yeah.
Yes, indeed. For me, I did something I haven't done in like 20 years and paid a price for it, Terry. I went my nephew boxes. So I used to train and do some martial arts stuff, mixed martial arts stuff way back in the day. And then I went back for the first time in 20 years and did like 8 rounds of sparring, and it was fun. I got cracked with one really good one, but otherwise the old man held his own. I would have made our old men proud, I feel like. No bruises, one little scratch over here, but outside of that, yeah, no bloody lip, no black eye. So I did all right, Terry.
That's good. That's very good.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like the horses do that to me, though.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they beat us up pretty well. All right, today, before we get cracking on our good friends at Parx, like we always do on Terrific Terry Tuesday, free track today at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. A link in the description here on YouTube as well as Facebook, on Twitter. However it is that you're watching, please use that free link so that they know where you're coming from. And you'll see today at that fast track over at Finger Lakes in race number 1, if it opens up for me, we'll see that the Kent Beck at 8-5, big choice there as our number 1 selection in race 1, the $32,600 maiden special weight classic, Terry. All right, let's get going on this long card today, a marathon card, 11 races on Terrific Terry Tuesday at Parx. Tell us about the first one.
Well, we're going to start out at a distance, a mile and 70 yards, claiming $10,000 claiming price per $26,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since February 28th. Claiming races for $8,000 or less are not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
And there's a whole bunch of routes today, a whole bunch at a mile and 70 yards. This opener will be one to keep an eye on to see how the route biases work out on a track that's was listed as muddy earlier in the day. I don't know if it's been upgraded to good or not, but at a mile and 70 yards, early speed does very well. 41% of the time it goes wire to wire. It's a bit of a rail penalty for so folks. 2 and 3 get a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7, a little under par. 8 and out's the best place to be by just a little bit, Terry. No deal breakers or makers in here. Do 10,000 simulations to figure out, Terry, who's got the best chance to be on the lead. And then based upon our projected pace, comfort zone, how likely this race is to mirror their best performances. 10,000 simulations where we project out a speed figure, and then we project out how many times the horse would have won to create our simulated odds. We don't need that number specifically, but we just hope that our simulation odds are lower than post-time odds. And then how many times out of 10,000, so 4,350 times, Secret Path ran a speed figure in our simulations of 88 or more. Terry, tell us all about the simulations.
Well, several of these have some speed, but that one shows a very much most speed, followed up by the 2 and then the 4. And then the 3 has an overlay from about 4 to 5 to 9 to 2. The 4 has an overlay from about 5 to 2 to 7 to 2. The 3 and the 4 show the only par plus numbers, and all but the 1 and 3 have C zones.
Yes, absolutely. Closest thing to a gringo here, maybe Horn Beam, the Quattro, along with doing there's Kaisi Feissy's picks. Keep an eye on those, folks. You can timestamp that, 440. We'll also timestamp every race in the description when the show is over, so you can come back and watch them on demand as the races develop. Here we have a race shape in here, Terry, where you got the E's want to be on the lead. EPs can lead or co-pilot. The P's want to co-pilot. PC types can really go anywhere on the track. They can press, they can close, they can be up front. A lot of versatility in those. Your C's are your closers. This position here, Terry, everybody wants to be middle back except for that 8 finalist. The finalist gets the lead. Lone E's, so many times they get to the winner circle, but finalists going to have to really work hard, it looks like, to get to that front, Terry. Looks like Sophos and Running on Esque. Yeah, those two have the best chance. They're about a length quicker than everybody else. So the two inside horses in the opener should set the tone. At the end, Hornbeam will be the one that's coming aggressively. He's about a length better than everybody else, and minus the top two picks in terms of early speed, won't be all that far off the pace, probably sitting third or fourth today. Hornbeam and Sophos, the speedsters, those two are 7 points clear of everybody else. And then the 3 and the 7 right in that mix, Terry. More than 70% of the time, the top 4 produces the winner. Who's your winner?
Well, I like the 3 Secret Path as the first pick. He finished in the money 3 out of the last 3 starts, winning one of the races, and he has high percentage winning trainer Scott Lake and high percent winning jockey Paco Lopez. Then number 4 Hornbeam. He's my second choice. Has won 2 races in a row, going for a hat trick now, and has a high percentage winning trainer jockey. Uncle Waterflow, the 7's my third choice, has won 2 of his last 3 races at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then number 2, Runny One Something.
I think Running on SQ. I don't know.
SQ, yeah. He's my long shot. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and the distance won't be a problem for him. Now, what we do is we do every race, we bet $2 to win on our first choice, and then $1 exacta box on our first 2 choices, and then a 50-cent trifecta box on our first 3 choices, then a 10-cent superfecta box on our first 4 choices. And then that's the only bets that we make unless we have some extra money we can use later on in the day.
Yeah, so that's an $8.40 bet. 11 races today. I don't think we have any money left over. Maybe a few bucks. I didn't make any additional bets.
$7.
I'll put 7 to work on something somewhere down the line. But and then overall, we just have a $100 tab that we're able to use. I like in the first race, Hornbeam. This guy's won 2 in a row, Mr. Terry. Better fractions last time out, despite going a little bit longer. Sophos, this one is a good size drop in class for the one. Consistent performer and a pretty good shot to set the tone where 41% go wire to wire. Secret Path, right now, the favorite on the board over in Ben Salem, Pennsylvania. This is the other horse that has a good shot to be forward, I feel like. Paco on board, the simulation favorite, is a strong par +2. So every chance for Terry's top pick to come home is the top 1 in race number 1. And then the 2 horse for me, Running's on cue. It's got to be on cue somewhere along the line. That one is third up, 3 for 3 on an off track, and it is an off track today. All 3 of those were wins, Mr. Terry. So maybe the 2 horse is the one to really put the pen and circle around it. Race number 2 is what we're going to do next. That's the one we're circling. Terry, tell us about the conditions here.
All right, we're going to come out with another 1 and 70 yards, an optional claiming race, $16,000 claiming price. If you elect to put your horse in there to possibly be claimed, purse is $25,000 for our 3-year-olds, which have started for $16,000 or less, and which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price of $16,000, or which have never won 2 races, or claiming price of $16,000 for 3-year-olds.
Oof, a lot. You can see Costner's not one that you can buy because there's not a $16,000 number in there. Or the only one you could really buy on the top 5 is Magical Monarch. It is in for 16 grand, as is Who's Knows. These are the Brisnet sheet, folks. I'm sure that DRF or whatever you use also identifies which ones you can buy and which ones you cannot. Again, at 1 mile and 70 yards, it does favor early speed, Terry. A little bit of a rail penalty. 2 and 3, a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7, a bit under par. 8 and out's the best place to be. So speed is important in race number 2, Terry. And once again, we find one of them that has a lot more speed than the rest.
Yeah, that 5 shows more speed than everybody, although all of them has a little bit of speed, but that 5 should get to that quarter pole first. The 1 has a small overlay from 5 to 2 to 3 to 1. And then the 5 has an overlay from about 7 to 5 to 2 to 1. And then the 7 has an overlay from just over 5 to 2 to 4 to 1. And then the 5, 1, and 7 have the par plus numbers. All but the 5 have, all of them have seed zones, but the 5's very low.
Yeah, so the 5 might not really like being up on the lead, Terry. Perhaps he prefers to be in a secondary or a pressure position. Let's see in race number 2. Now the 5 wants to be on the lead. So most of these horses want to be middle forward. If they go too fast, it could open the door for the 2 closers because it is kind of tilted towards the front of the race. But not surprising when 41% go wire to wire. Early on, it does look like Magical Monarch. It is about a length quicker than Mendel's Fly, which is a little bit quicker than Costner. So the 5 should be able to clear this group relatively easily, although that late pace number there leaves a lot to be desired. Rumaway, the pressure horse that sits behind these 3, going to get a good trip, although it might be back here based upon that early speed, so behind the closers even. And then our top 2 total pace horses are the 7 and the 1, considerably better than the 5, which is our top pick for both of us. Terry, why did we mix this up?
Well, I like Magical Monarch because it's won 3 of the last 5 races at Parx Racing. Very competitive. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and a bullet workout on April 11th. Costner, the 1, is my second choice. Won his last race at Parx Racing. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then the 7 is my third choice. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 4 is my long shot. Has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 34% of the races that in the first race after claiming a horse, and he has a nice workout on May 21st. I'm going to play Don Johnson, Miami Vice, pick 4. I'm going to use the 1-4-5-7 with the 3-4-6 with the 2-8 with the 2-13-14. That's a $36 cup ticket.
Yeah, I also have a pick 4. I had the same 4 picks here, Terry, in same exact order. So probably the 4 horse wins because that's where you and I both leave off in our. Well, you got the 4 in your.
I do.
So that means the 3 horse. Hey, what's up is going to be the winner. So I'm going to go with the in this race number 2, Magical Monarch going to be on the lead. You got the premier trainer at Parx and Jamie Ness. Got right now one of the top jockeys, Frankie Pennington. I think they go up. Frankie's pretty good on the lead. I think they'll run reasonable fractions. That timer in his head works well. And I think he goes wire to wire. Costner, the 1 horse, that one is a track dropper. And in every race since its debut, it has increased its speed figure. So another move forward on the speed figure today makes the 1 dangerous. Number 7, Mendel's Fly is the 3rd choice. Another one that's coming in off the track drop, Jerry. It's also the biggest class dropper in the field. And then, what do you call that? Cofish? The 4? Yeah, 4, something like that. This one's the 3rd track dropper out of the 4 in here. Coming in from Gulfstream Park. Solid Parx workout, but so far hasn't been able to find a par score for this level. I like the 1-5-7 with the 3-4 all because there's only 4 horses in that race there. And then I do 2, 9, 13, and 14 on the back end. My ticket is $48, just a couple dollars below our $50 minimum or maximum, excuse me, right, Terry?
Yep.
Maximum. Yeah, that's what I wanted to go with. All right. So we got about a minute before the first race here at Parx. All right, Terry, while we wait to kill time, tell folks what they ought to do if they haven't done it so far.
Well, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, you should do that and then hit the little bell so you get notified with when we're having our programs. Go down and copy the link to send to your family and friends so they can come and check us out. Go to our social sites at Horse Race, the number 2 day, and that would be Instagram, Facebook, X, Threads, and some other one.
Anyone out there where people communicate online since they don't communicate in person anymore.
Well, give us a likes and a thumbs up there. That helps us out a lot so that we can bring you more information.
Yeah, and if you have any comments, we certainly appreciate all commentary. Any interaction that we have, whether it be thumbs up or likes or shares or retweets if you're watching on Twitter. Kindly retweet the show right now so others can join us. It's like that old Pro commercial. You tell 2 friends and they tell 2 friends. And the next thing you know, everybody's watching. And that's our goal. Giant community of horse racing fans. Race number 1, they are loading up. It looks like just a few to go, Terry, before they get cracking with the first race on this terrific Terry Tuesday. We're waiting on the 7, Uncle Waterflow, and then the 8th finalist. Your favorite at the moment is Terry's 3 horse Secret Path. Then next up looks like the 7 horse at 5-2. And then after that, and they're off and running. Does look like pretty clean start across the board. You got 5 horses right now vying for the lead: the 2, the 3, the 4, the 6, the 7. 7 might get the worst of it because he's going to go through that first turn wide, and the jockey's trying to get him to come down the track, and he don't seem to be all that interested in that, but was able to get him into good position. 3 horses right now across the track trying to compete for the lead. Now you got a 4th joining him on the outside in the 8 horse. So you have Hornbeam, you have Secret Path, you have Hang Tight, and then you have the 8 horse finalist, the Long Shot. 4 wide across the track, a gap of about a horse to them, to the 7, Uncle Waterflow, and the 2, Running One's Cue. There we go, probably along those lines. Then the 1 horse is way, way back there as they go through the opening quarter in 23 and 4, the opening half, and 47 and 2. Maybe a touch on the fast side for these guys, but speed does tend to hold up well at Parx. Secret Path continues to hold the lead. The 4 horse to the outside is starting to give up ground. The 2 horse right now moving the most aggressively along with the 7. The 3 horse right now running away with it. As they come down the stretch for home, the one that is moving the best is the 2 horse, although the 3 horse's jockey's looking between his legs. So I think he thinks he's got the most horse left. The 4 horse continues to hang in there. The 1 horse now trying to find its way into perhaps third because it is moving the most aggressively. The only question is, does the 2 horse hang in there for the exacta or trifecta? The 3 horse is your runaway winner. It's going to go 3, 1, 4, 5. 3, 1, 4, 5. Terry with the winner on top, and I have the trifecta. So both of us have reasons to be happy with that opener.
That's right.
Yeah, 3 was an easy winner on the front, folks. So keep an eye on that today. It could prove to be that front running styles, especially on a track right now, the track looks to me like it's going to get upgraded at some point to fast, Terry, because it looks pretty clean to me.
Yeah, it does.
All right. Race number 3 is what we are going to do next. Someone gave us a thumbs up, a love in, I don't know if that's Chinese. I'm guessing it's Chinese. Thank you for that. Unfortunately, I don't understand Chinese, but if I did, I would certainly translate it.
Okay.
Off to the 3rd race we go.
And we're going
to 11 race card, my man.
Yeah. We're going to go the 3rd race in a row at 1 mile and 70 yards, an optional claiming race again, $25,000 claiming price. Purse $26,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $16,000 or less, which have never won 3 races, or a claiming race for $25,000, or which have never won 3 races.
Yes, and we know speed does well. We know that there are no deal breakers in the deal makers or breakers at 1 mile and 70 yards. We just saw the 3 horse compete for the lead all the way around the track, even on a contested pace, which was a little bit warm for the horses at that level. So speed could hold up, although the 1 horse did kind of find its way up the track from a closing position. So maybe speed wins and closers come in to clean up the exactas and trifectas. Terry, how do you see the front part of this race going based upon our data?
Well, it appears to me that 3 is going to break out of there as long as it doesn't have any problems and go right to the lead. And then the 1 is the only other horse in there that really has any speed to it. The 1 shows an overlay of about 3-1 to 9-2, and the 4 has an overlay of about 4-5 to 4-1. 4, 6, and 1 show the only par plus numbers, and all of them have C zones, but that 5 is very low.
Yeah, he might find himself to be very uncomfortable against this crew today. Maybe he finds a little bit more comfort in the trip shape. Well, here we saw the 3, Terry, is one that should be up on the lead. He's a lone E in the simulations. Everybody else wants to be middle back. In this sort of waiting, I would want my horse to be towards the front. Looking at the front, does look like Check My 6. The PC can also be on the lead. So look out for that guy, perhaps putting a lot of heat on the 3, especially since he has more late speed. So maybe try to tire that one out early on. At the end, Majestic Lion, the closer, will be coming the hardest. And he has a pretty aggressive, about 1.5 lengths advantage, although could be as many as 4 lengths off the lead at the beginning. Every 5 points equates to roughly 1 length. As far as our top total pace horse, Thistle, Terry, a little bit better than Majestic Lion, which is a little bit better than Check My Six. And then a considerable drop off from there. So maybe you take the 6, the 4, the 1, box them for 50 cents in your exacta, and try, well, $1 exacta, 50-cent try. Maybe both tickets come home winner if pace is the way. What do you think?
Well, I like that 6 Thistle. He ran second versus similar his last race. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And he has a trainer who wins 21% of the races in the second race after claiming a horse. The 3 first money is my second choice one. His last race, Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning jockey. Majestic Lion, the 4, is my third choice. Won his last race at Parx Racing. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He's actually tied with Thistle and has the highest speed figure at today's distance. My long shot is Check My Six. He finished third versus similar in his last race and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. No additional bets in here for me.
I'm going to begin with the 4, Majestic Lion. Majestic Lion won his last race with ease, Terry. So I don't think he had to leave a lot on the track. This one appears to be getting better. If he's coming off of his strongest effort after pairing some peak numbers, that's usually a sign of a horse that's finding a new level. But there is still some concern for regression. But if indeed this horse is finding a new level, could make it look easy again today. If not, first money, the 3 horse. We both put that one in the second spot there, Terry. Really good chance to be a better performer in the second start after a layoff. All of the race internals were better from the beginning to the middle to the end. Went wire to wire and got gelded after going wire to wire, Terry. What else can he do, right?
I don't know.
Yes, and he's likely to be the pace setter again today. So he's going to want to be on that lead so that they keep the scissors at home. Thistle, the 6 horse, my third choice, your first pick. This one is the most consistent performer, did run some better pace and fractions last time out in the first half mile. That's usually an indication of a horse that's sitting on a good one the next time out, which would be today. And then Check My Six, our fourth pick, alike. Ran a little bit quicker last time out at 1 mile and a 16th versus the previous start at 1 mile and 70 yards. So you go a little bit longer and you still go a little bit faster. That's improvement in my book. And like you, Terry, no bad here either. Race number 4. 11 races in this marathon card today. A terrific Terry Tuesday. Race number 4. They're going to do it one more.
That's right. It's 4th race in a row at 1 mile and 70 yards. A maiden claiming race, $25,000 claiming price, $28,000 purse for maidens 3-year-olds.
Yes, again, speed does well. Post position wise, really no big advantages, although being on the outside, 8 probably is the best place to be. Terry, speed does matter in race number 4. A lot of scratches in here. So, 2 of them, the barbell speed, but really none of them probably true front runners.
No, it's really going to be hard to find out who goes to the front, although if the 8 and the 1 do, they're probably going to be about even. So, and then there's none with a par plus number, overlays, and none with a par plus number. And 7 has the best CISO.
Yeah, Bija again might really like the way the shape comes out here. We both have it last. Probably should put it first. In a 4-horse race, really just about anything could happen, Terry. Let's see if anybody has a tactical advantage. Well, so far, the 6 and the 7 have not been close. I don't know what happened to the 2-horse over here. He got mixed up. The 5's not in here, so let's take that bad boy out of there. We can go back and look at the 2, but we'll get a sense of where the 2 ought to be right in here. The 2-horse looks more like a pressure horse, so we'll put him right there. And then you have the 8-horse, maybe going to be on the lead as a closer, though real no gap in here, except for that 7-horse. Biha again on the late speed, though. That does belong to Biha again. He'll probably be about 1.5 lengths off and has about 1.5 lengths late speed advantage over all these horses. So when you take a look at the top total pace horse, looks like we get a little mix up in here. But anyway, based upon that, looks like the 8 is a little bit better than the rest, the 7, the 1, and the 2. Terry, how did you rank them in this 4-horse field?
Yeah, I like Armed and Ready. The 8, he is a high percentage winning trainer, wins 31% of the races when moving a horse up 1 class. Lasix is added today, and he has a good workout on the 22nd of May. Evasive Moves, the 2 is my second choice, ran second in his last race and has a high percentage winning jockey. King Mafusa is my third choice. The 1 has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then number 7, Bia again. He is the only horse left in the field, so that's why I put it there.
Yeah, someone's got to be 4th out of 4, right?
Yeah, so now I'm playing another Don Johnson pick 4, and it's 2-8 with the 2, 7, 9, 13, and 14, with the 2, 4, with the 2, 5, 6, 8, and 10. It's a $50 play.
Yeah, I'm looking at this race, Terry, and 4 horses, many times in these short fields, the big favorite, and I think it's probably going to be the 8 horse in here because you got Jamie Ness, Frankie Pennington, first Lasix for this horse, coming off of a track drop, good workouts prepping. This one's going to be probably 2 to 5, I'm guessing. So either you single them. I should have probably just left them off the ticket altogether. Who knows? But Evasive moves 3 consecutive speed figure increases in a row. Maybe we'll see a little bit more in the 3rd start after a layoff. Number 1, King Mufusa, class dropper. Good chance to improve in the 2nd start after a layoff. And then finally, again, the 4th out of 4, Biha again. But this one only has 2 starts so far, Terry, so we don't know what its potential is. Did show some more early speed in its last race, but as we mentioned back here, it's also your top late pace horse. So if Biha again can move his early pace up into the 70s like these other horses, it might not be able to withstand his late charge at the end. So for my pick 4, since there's only 4, I said, what the heck? I'll make it to the next race. I'll just pick them all. And I'm going to go 2, 4 in the next leg, and then 4, 5, 8, and then 2, 3, 4, 6. Again, another $48 ticket as I'm maxing out my budget today, Terry. Middle, that's not the middle race card. Race number 5 normally is. All right.
All right. Well,
this one was supposed to be on the grass, but no grass today.
Yeah, it was originally on the turf, but now it's not. But it's still a mile and 16th as far as I know. It's a claiming race of 12,500, a purse 28,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards.
So I think if I remember correctly, a mile and a 16 stops back here. We don't have any race data on it, but much like many of the races at Parx, I would suspect that Stalkers probably have the best chance to get home here, Terry. Other than that, we don't have a whole lot of profile of a winner in race 5. Whole lot of red in here because a whole lot of scratches in there. That doesn't really change who's likely to be the pace setter, though.
Yeah, the 14 has the most speed, but the 13 follows up with that. So if the 14, I think the 14 and 13 will break out together and try to go to the front. And then the 2 has an overlay from almost 5 to 1 to 10 to 1. The 13 has an overlay from about 7 to 5 to 10 to 1. And the 14 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 4 to 1. Although those are all going to change because of all the scratches. 13, 14, and 2 show par plus numbers. And then let's see, all of them, well, all but the 7 show some kind of seesaw.
So again, a race that's really been damaged, if you will, by the scratches. Looking at the early pace here, get the 5 horse in the field, Mr. Terry. He's not in our picks over here, but what's in the race here? Or I don't think the 5 is in this race. I think he's out, if I remember correctly.
In the
race number 5.
The 5 scratch. Didn't I get it out of there?
I know it's okay. He was over here still. But if you look at what we got in here, everybody sort of wants to be middle back. So if you can get to the front, you have a really good chance to beat this group. 14 DeSantis, as we saw on the early pace, and the 13, those 2 are quicker than everybody else. So they should jump out to the lead. The 2 and the 9 might keep him to task, but could be difficult. At the end of the race, does look like Tixie's 2 Stents to Closer, along with its Game Time and Centurion. They'll be coming the hardest. And then our top total pace picture, Terry tells us, minus Mr. Einstein, this is a pretty competitive spot with the 13 and the 2, looking like they're just a step or 2 better than everybody else. 5-horse field, Terry. Steven Felder told us take the longest shot on the board. I don't think the 13 or the 14 will be the longest shot on the board. There are top 2 picks. Why do you like the 13?
Well, its Game Time has won 2 of the last 3 races at Parx Racing, drops in class today, and he has the highest speed figure at today's distance. High percentage winning jockey and trainer. Lots of boxes marked off. Centurion, the 2, won his last race at Parx Racing, has his highest last speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning jockey who in the last 7 days out of 26 starts have won 8, 5 seconds, and 3/3. And then my long shot would be the 14. I mean, my third choice would be the 14 DeSantis. He has a high percentage winning trainer and switches to high percentage winning jockey. And my long shot is Mr. Einstein. He finished in the money in 80% of his races at Parx Racing and likes the distance. No additional bets in here for me.
Yeah, I'm going to take a little different route. I'm going to go with DeSantis. Did Trump run some faster fractions last out? And today, this front runner is going to have Paco on the lead. So I think Paco, he's got a good timer in his head too. He won't really go out and burn the horse. Only concern is he'll think he has the lead, not looking to his right to see if anything's coming from behind and stand up with the eighth of a mile to go. Maybe not an eighth of a mile, but maybe 8 strides to go and make it close at the wire when he doesn't need to. Centurion, the 2-horse. Speed figure last time out with all of the scratches. 6 points better than any other horse in the field. Really just needs to rerun that race and nobody else can touch him. It's game time. Did show some regression last time out following a peak number. When he did face DeSantis, he pounded him in that race. So that was that peak number. I don't know if we're going to get a rebound today, a flattening out today, or a little bit more regression today. So anything could happen with the 13. And then Mr. Einstein, a little bit better call for me than Dixie's 2 cents because this one has a chance to improve in the second start after a layoff, whereas Dixie 2 cents has been at it for a bit. Race 6. Now we're in the middle race, Terry.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. And I think we're finally, now we're going to stay in a route, though.
Yeah, but we're going to shorten up a little bit to a mile. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $20,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since February 28th.
Yes, that's a very important day, that February 28th, at least in Parx today. At a mile, shortening up a bit, early speed does great. Almost a half of the horses that get the lead at the quarter-mile marker get a chance to go into the winner's circle and smile for a photo. Strong rail bonus for Like a Pro. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 and out. Everything from 4 through 7 is underwater. And for some reason, if you wear an 8 instead of a 7, it's the best place to be. Not that many horses in the race today, Terry. So it looks like early speed in race number 6 is the best, is the most likely winner. But only one horse really flashing some speed so far.
Yeah, that's right. Only that 4-horse shows any kind of speed at all so far. The 3 has a little bit, but that's it. The 2 has an overlay from about 3 to 5 to 4 to 1. 2 has the best par plus number. And then all but the 2 and 6 have some kind of C zones. The 3 and the 1 have the best.
So just real quick, a par plus, we look at 10,000 simulations and how many times in our speed figure simulations where we project out the speed figure, 6,650 times Peach Perfect ran a speed figure of 79 or better in our simulations. And also we do 10,000 simulations on early pace. And then we match up the pace of this race to the races that these horses have run before to see how likely this race is to mirror their best performances. So anything above a 50 score is pretty good in C zone. Looking at the race shape for race number 6, got a lone E over here, Terry, and Tomer. Then the 4 right there, Clos Rose, pressure type 1, 2, and 6. They want to close. Really not a lot of what I would call speed in here. I mean, 77 is a pretty low number. So these 3 horses a little bit quicker than these 2 horses. None of them are really what I would call fast. So it wouldn't be shocking to see something else take the lead. Peace, Love, and Karma. That one has about a 12, 13-point late pace advantage over all of these horses. That's about 3 lengths. Going to be about a length and a half off the lead, Terry. And then if you look at the top total pace, Peace, Love, and Karma, a little bit better than Peach Perfect, a little bit better than Clos Rose. Kind of a drop off from there. So maybe go with the even number of horses, forget the odds. What do you say?
Well, I like the 4 Chloe Rose. She has won 2 out of the last 3 races. She has a trainer jockey combination that in the last 14 days have won 2 out of 2 starts, so they've been perfect. Number 2, Peach Perfect, is my second choice. She finished second in her last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 20% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. She has the highest last speed rating, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, actually tied with the next horse, 3 Tamara. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and the distance will not be a problem. Peace Loving Karma is my long shot, the 6. She has a high percentage winning jockey, and she can go the distance. I'm going to play my next pick 4, which is Don Johnson, Miami Vice. I'm going to use the 2, 3, 4, 6 with the 2, 5, 6, 10 with the 2, 3, 6, 7, 9 with the 2, which is a $50 belly play.
I'm going to start off with the 2-horse, Peach Perfect. I've told you many times, I have a chubby blonde girlfriend, my yellow lab, Peach. So I got to put her in there, right? No question about that. One of these days, I got to put a picture of my chubby blonde Labrador girlfriend up on the screen there. Any of her last 3 races, Terry, would be more than good enough to win this one, and did improve the early pace last time out. So I'm expecting a better race than the prior 3. Chloe Rose, the 4-horse, is the second choice. Ran at Parx 3 times, scored the win in 2 of them. And last time out, this horse was much better from the middle part of the race to the later part of the race. And many times I've noticed when a horse finds life in the second part of a race, that momentum carries over to the next start. Peace, Love, and Karma in this field, Terry, I feel like it's going to sit right in that catbird seat, 3rd, 4th. And then with that huge late pace advantage over the rest, could just run by them all. Maybe it should be the top pick at a decent price. And then 2 Marie, the 3-horse. This one is won 4 out of 16 on an off track, although I feel like it's probably going to be upgraded by the time they get to this race, but it still has the top C-zone by a pretty wide margin. So it should be very comfortable with the way this race plays out. I'm going to do pick 4, 3 over 4 over 4 over 2. So that's a $48 ticket. Once again, Mr. Terry. Race 7 is next up. Hold on one second here. Race Masters. I'd like to pass along a horse for the 2 p.m. race in Ireland, Ballon Road number 7, Saneri, given by Private Pete, 99. So keep an eye on that one, folks. If you're going to do a little bit of international Irish racing today. We were supposed to do a little Irish racing on Friday, Tom and I, for the Curra, but somehow got really mixed up and it didn't happen. So this week, I think we're going to do Epsom. I think what he told me. So we won't get so mixed up this week. We'll be live on Friday. Tomorrow, Terry and I are going to do Delaware Park. Maybe something special on Thursday for Churchill Downs. We'll let you know about that. We're going to talk about that after the show. If you haven't done so already, like Terry said, kindly give us a thumbs up. If you're watching on Twitter, please follow along. You know, what do you do Twitter? You like us, you follow us. I don't know what all that stuff is. Sean takes care of all that. Over on Facebook as well at Horse Race the number 2 day. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube along with the bell. Our goal is to get to 10,000. If you haven't done so yet, you're watching on Twitter, head on over to all of our past videos. You might find a lot of interviews over there that you'll absolutely like. Horse Racing Radar TV on YouTube. On to race number 7. Lucky race number 7, Terry. And boy, we're going to see this one again.
Yep, we're going to go back up to 1 mile and 70 yards, claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $20,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since February 28th.
Again, $170 on the dirt course. You're looking for some speed. Stalkers, the front runners, they tend to do the best. Really, no great advantage on any particular post position. Really, just have some tactical and early speed, Terry. And where is that found?
Well, that's that 4, and it shows a lot of speed, so it should get that quarter pole first. The 2 has the only overlay I see, which is just under 7-1 to 8-1, and 2 is the only one that has any kind of a par number. And all but the 1 and 2 show some kind of a C zone, but the 6 and the 7 have the best. Oops.
So a couple quick notes here, Terry. You have the 10 as your top pick.
Yeah.
It is scratched according to our
Uh-oh.
So if you could kindly, while I go through some of the other data, go ahead and change your pick 4 for race number 6 and race number 4 to take that 2 out and to change your picks. Meantime, I'll talk a little bit about the race shape for race number 7. Pretty balanced race. 2 that want to be on the lead, 2 that want to pressure the lead, a couple that can be forward or back or middle. The 6 and the 9, 69 can really be anywhere they want on the track. So they'll see if the front runners go too fast, the front runners go too slow, they'll position themselves accordingly. The 2 and the 5, they want to close. If you're looking for the early speed, there's 3 of them that have the most of it. You got the 8, the 4, and the 5. Look out for the 5, folks. Assad, because it's a closer. It has a lot of early speed. We call those left arrow horses around here because all they want to close, their speed moves them to the left, closer to the E-types. They won't forget how to close out a race. At the end, Sugu Star, I don't know if I got that right. The bearish one, they're about 2 lengths quicker than everybody else. They're also about, well, this one's going to be more than 2 lengths off the lead. This one might be about 2.5 lengths off the lead. So a good chance to maybe use those legs to its benefit. And then our top total pace horses, the 9, the bearish one, is in there with Assad, that left arrow horse, along with Sea Trident. 9, 4, and 5, they're 5 points clear of the rest of the pack in there, Terry. I don't have the 9 in my picks, I don't think, as the top total pace horse. I might regret that. You don't have it either. We both may regret that. With your revised picks, what do you got?
I like the 2 as my first choice. Suju Star finished in the money in 3 out of the last 4 starts. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Assad, the 5, is my second choice. Drops in class today. Has a highest speed figure at today's distance. Number 6, Johnny Quist, won his last race at Parx Racing, and the distance won't be a problem. He's my third choice. And my long shot is going to be the 8 horse. And the 8 horse, let me see why I like that 8 horse there. Anyway, I like.
All right, well, I'll go on because they're going to load up. So.
Oh, okay. Well,
go ahead. Mega Charlie. Well, maybe I'll downgrade him, but he did win 4 of 8 on an off track. Track looks like it is up to fast now. So maybe we're going to move him down a bit. Sea Trident, Jamie Ness horse, very likely pace setter, down in class. So maybe I put the 4 in front of the 8 here instead. The 5 horse is my left arrow horse. Speed and fade in his last race, drops in class to the lowest level in its last 10 starts. And then Mucho Macho Eddie, the 1 horse, gets a weight break, finished second in his last at this level, and usually puts together strong performances. Race number 2 is off and running, Mr. Terry. And away they go. And as our projections suggest, the 5 horse is the one that has gotten the lead, although the 3 horse, hey, what's up? He's kind of saying, hey, what's up? Is that horse did clear kind of easily as they got to the turn. The 7 horse, Mendel's Fly, could find itself in a tough spot. 3 wide through the opening turn, never really where you want your horse to be. You got the 3 horse on the rail trying to save some ground. The 4 horse, Copish, is in second right now. There's a gap of about 3 horses back to the 1 horse, Costner, and then the 2 horse, looks like to me, is all the way in the back of the pack, Rumaway. Opening quarter in a pretty quick 23-1 for 1 mile and 70 yards at Parx. Probably would like to see it be a little bit slower than that if you're backing the 5 horse. They run down the back stretch. The 5 has opened up by about 2.5 lengths, 47-1. So got to slow it down a little bit as they go through the turn. The 4 horse now is the one that's giving chase, but not so sure he's going to be able to run that 5 down, Terry. It looks like the only horse that's moving well enough to maybe catch the 5, it's debatable, is the 1 horse, although the 4 is starting to get a little bit active too. Around the corner they come, heading for home. The 5 does look like it's tiring a little bit. The jockey still hasn't asked him to go, though. The 4 horse is trying to corral itself. He's pulling up alongside. Here comes the 1 horse down the lane, Terry. He looks like this horse race is going to go to the 5 as he's starting to draw off. It's going to go 5, which is a good start for both of us because that horse ended up being went up in odds there, Terry. 5, 1, 4, and then the 2 horse coming in. I don't know what happened to that 7 horse. There he is, straggling home. I tell you, folks, when you see your horse go 3 wide through the opening turn, really, and a 2-turn race, it's a tough spot to be. So 5, 1, 4. We're both alive on our pick 4s, Terry, and I think that 5 horse was Magical Monarch, our morning line, our simulation favorite, was also the strongest par plus. Good chance to get on the lead. All of the simulations proved to be accurate there, and he went off at 4-1. So all across the board, a good value on our top pick. I think you're on mute, my man.
You're right, I was.
All right. So off to race number 8 we go as our pick 4 starts the best possible way, Terry. So 4 races to go, 8, 9, 10, and 11 on this terrific Terry Tuesday at Parx. What's the 8th race all about?
Okay, well, we're going to go again at 1 mile and 70 yards, claiming race, $25,000 claim price. $32,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since February 28th. Claiming races for $16,000 or less are not considered, and which have never won 4 races.
Perfect. The Mafia wields 2 for 4th place for the Super. It's a good way to go. I want to say thank you real quickly again to David Dillon. Gave us a thumbs up on Facebook. Another one in Chinese. If you like what you see, folks, help us out with the thumbs up. The more interaction we get, comments like Race Masters or thumbs up or likes, or you come back and watch the show again, we'll post stamp every single race in the description on YouTube. Come back and watch them race by race as they go. Any interaction helps us with the algorithm. So it's a real easy way to help the show. No matter where you're watching, please hit the follow button, the subscribe button, the like button, share our content all across the universe. We greatly appreciate it. 1 mile and 70 yards. Again, we saw 2 races in a row. The horse got to the front, stayed towards the front, and actually ran pretty good fractions in that last race. So I would suggest there's probably a little bit of a speed bias going on at Parx today, Terry. If that's the case, in race number 8, who's going to take advantage of that bias?
Well, it looks to me like the 4 has the most speed, followed up by the 1, but it's not really abundance of speed. And then the 3 has an overlay from about 7 to 5 to 5 to 1. The 3 has the only par plus number, and all but the 7 show Z zones. And most of them are pretty good except for that 2.
Yeah, everybody else up above 50%. So more than 1 in 2 chance they'll get a pace that they prefer. In the 8th race, boy, look at all these closers, Terry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7, 6 and 9. They prefer to be forward. Again, you see these races that are slanted towards horses that want to come from the middle or back. You get to the front, you could be very hard to run down. We've seen that in the case in the opening 2 races today, both at a $170. Concealed Carry is a lot quicker than everybody else, Terry. He's more than 2 lengths faster than everybody. He's got a problem with those late legs, though. Maybe he gets a little leg weary like I did during my sparring sessions on Sunday, but hey, I'll get better. As far as your late speed is concerned, Roan Mountain, the 3-horse, in Kingsville, plenty of them very tightly matched in there. Only the Speedster really not a part of the late speed. At the end of the race, this one looks like it's completely wide open. If Concealed Carry can't go wire to wire, everybody else is within 4 points of each other. Terry, on paper, from a total pace perspective, this looks like an all race because the 4 could go all the way up front with that early speed advantage. And if not, all the rest of them are just about the same. So how did you break this one up?
Well, I like 3 Roan Mountain. He finished 3rd versus similar his last race. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 37% of the races in their first race after claiming a horse, switches to high percentage winning jockey Paco Lopez. Kingsville, this too is my second choice, ran 2nd versus similar in his last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 7 trending up is my 3rd choice, comes in from Keeneland to try Parx Racing and has a bullet workout on May 17th. And then 6 Zoomer is my long shot, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and his best third speed is fastest among today's starters. I'm going to play a 50-cent Miami Vice pick 4 again. And for John Johnson, it's a 2-3-6-7-9 with the 2-3, with the 2-5-8, with the 1-11-12. That's a $45 ticket.
I'm going to start too with Roan Mountain. Probably, if we both like it, I'd imagine its odds will drop. Although this one looks a lot like we just saw in the last race. Simulation favorite could go a little bit off at a good price as well. So for me, Roan Mountain getting the top call in a wide open race. 3 consecutive speed figure increases. According to Barry Meadows, that's a 15% or more winning handicapping angle. Paco Lopez, that guy wins at more than 15%. So you got a couple of alpha angles right there. And we should see if this horse continues on that pace. Zoomer, the 6-horse, second call for me at a decent price. Speed and faded last time out. This will be the 2nd race off the claim for top trainer Jamie Ness at Parx. And when Jamie puts his horse out the 2nd time after a claim, he wins 1 out of 3 races. That's a big number. This horse has won 5 of its 11 starts at Parx, so maybe a horse for the course. Kingsville, the next horse for me, the 2. That guy, Terry, ran faster by about 2 seconds last time out. Finished second by just a neck at this level. So really doesn't have a whole lot more to do today to secure the W. And then Concealed Carry is the next call for me, real close over everybody else. But I feel like that early speed really could play to its advantage. We've seen it hold up so far today. I obviously didn't know that would be the case in advance. But a lot of times a horse gets that big an advantage over everybody else, unless the jockey's clock upstairs is not really working that well, they can get out to a comfortable lead. And instead of burning out late, like we saw in the pace numbers, hold on to enough energy to squeak out the W at the end. Let's see. Doesn't make sense. A super pace $6. The 2 was 35 to 1. Barry Meadows at the Randy's Donut Shop in LA. You met him? Was he a nice guy? He was really nice to me. I talked to him on the phone. We had a really good conversation. Really was a wonderful guy. Tried to get him to come on and do our old podcast, but he didn't. He says he didn't really want to go on TV. All right, Terry. 3 races to go. We work our way through an 11-race card, a marathon for you and I today. In the 9th race, what are they doing?
We're going to shorten up to 7 furlongs. It's a claiming race, $10,000 claiming price, $26,000 purse. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since February 28th. Claiming races for 8,000 or less are not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
Yeah, and at 7 furlongs, it might be the distance at Parx where speed is the least influential, probably the best way to do it. Still an above average number for most tracks. 17% go wire to wire. The rail, it's a little bit under par. 2 and 3 get a bonus. 4 and out, all under par. So if you have on the black and white 2 or the blue and white 3, and you have some early race ability, Terry, you might have a good shot to win. Do either of those 2 meet those criteria?
Nope, that 3 shows lots and lots of speed, followed up by the 4 and then a little bit by the 1. And then 2 has an overlay from about, 3 to 5, 2 to 1. The 3 has an overlay from 2.5 to 1 to 4 to 1. 2, 6, and 3 show the par plus numbers, and all but the 1 have Z zones, and almost all of them are really good.
So our 3-horse here, good chance to be on the lead. One of the top total pace horses, and there's still a par plus score and a simulation odds. So green across the board, although some of it's a little bit light green. A green go for Liam Blue Moon. We also see that it is a lone E, although the 4-horse is a little bit flexible. Can be on the lead or can be middle back. Everybody else wants to close. The 1-horse, Smart Humor, so far not within 5 lengths of the winner in up to its last 10 races. At the beginning of this one, Terry, once again, we see a horse with a pretty aggressive early speed advantage over the rest. And Liam's Blue Moon, more than 2 lengths faster than everybody. Well, about 2 lengths faster than everybody. Again, every 5 points equates to roughly 1 length. As far as your late speed is concerned, the horses that will be bringing it at the end, Angelus Warrior, which is a PC type, and shouldn't be all that far off the pace. Should be in the mix with everybody at the jump except for the 3-horse. And then our top total pace here, Terry, Angelus Warrior, Super Flyover, Lucky Dude, and then Liam's Blue Moon are the top 4, usually producing the winner. And that crew, who did you produce as your winner for your crew?
Well, my first choice and my pick of the day is the 2 Super Flyover. He's finished in the money in 4 out of the last 5 starts, won 3 of those races. Best start speed is fast among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning jockey. Then I took the 3 Liam's Blue Moon, bobbled at the break in the last race, finished in 7th, but won the race before. He has a high percentage winning jockey and a good workout on May 22nd. Angelus Warrior, the 6th, is my third choice. He likes Parx racing, finishing the money in 58% of the races and win 20% of those starts. And he likes the distances. He's finished in the money, or he's won 50% of those starts. Number 7 is my long shot, Summer Ash. He finished in the money in his last 10 starts, winning 2 of the races, so very competitive. I'm going to bet my $7 to win on the 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said Runaway would be the one right there. You did call it. For me, for the 9th race, I'm going to go with the 3-horse, that lone E, Terry. Good chance to be on the lead. Big early speed advantage. But I think the one thing that tipped it over the top for me over the Super Flyover, your pick of the day, is that it's carrying 10 pounds less today than it carried in its last race. That's about a 2-length advantage. Again, every 5 pounds, according to our friend, 22 to 1 Tom. Again, just as a rule of thumb, it's not fixed, it's not absolute, but it does equal every 5 pounds, roughly a 1-length edge. So 10 pounds less than it carried the last time is about 2 lengths. So you add that 2-length early speed with a 2-length total race advantage, that could give that horse as much as a 4-length advantage over the rest of this field. That's why I barely put it in front of Super Flyover. Similar fractions last time out at 6.5 furlongs versus 6. That comment, going longer with faster or similar fractions, ends up in the end of the day in the winner's column a lot. Angelus Warrior, 6 horse, down in class, very consistent performer at that level that would ordinarily win here. And then finally, if we get lucky, that's really what we're hoping for day after day after day. This one can be on the front because he's the only other one besides the 3 that's really probably got a good shot to be up there. And when he does get to the front, that's when you find that horse performs its best. It will be there today. Maybe not in the winner's circle, but in the exacta or the trifecta. You never met Barry Meadows, but you have been to Randy's Donut Shop. You met Matt Garcia, LaFay Pinkay, and Chris McCarron. Oh, good. Some really Hall of Fame names on that list. And then you met us. So we probably should be at the top of that list. No, Terry? At least you met us virtually anyway. We're thinking about, I know Sean and I were talking about, well, he emailed me. I haven't emailed him back yet, so he's probably pissed at me, but I was kind of busy on the weekend trying to get over the concussion of getting beaten up when I was doing some sparring. That didn't really happen. But anyway, we're talking about maybe putting together an annual gathering at a track where we can all get together, pick a place, and whoever's in that area. So we'll move around the country. And that way, if you're in the area, we can all get together and say hi and maybe share a hot dog or something on Terry's dime.
All right.
He's like, no. All right. 2 races to go. The beginning leg of the daily double. We do see in race number 10 another one that was scheduled to be on the grass, but instead it's on the dirt. That's why all that red's there, Terry. So in race number 10, what are they going to do?
Well, it looks like it's still on a mile and 16th. It's an allowance race, the only one I see today. Purse $41,000 for registered Pennsylvania bred 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won Pennsylvania bred or restricted race other than maiden, claiming, or starter.
So keep an eye on that other mile and 16th race today. That was also scheduled to be on the turf. That is race number 5. So 5-10, keeping it simple for those trying to keep along like me. We don't have any statistics. Again, I would expect that, middle forward in routes does the best at Parx. We're seeing speed hold up today. So look for some speed perhaps in the 10th race, Terry. A lot of scratches in here. Doesn't really impact the early speed condition or positioning too much, with Morning March being the 1 speed horse that's out of the race, but still look like 2 of them were going to dominate anyway.
Yeah, the 5 and the 1, and they could go head to head to that quarter pole. And the 2 has an overlay from about almost 2 to 1 to 5 to 1. The 8 has an overlay from 2.5 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 2 has a really nice par plus number, 100%, and the 8 shows a pretty nice one too at 89%. And then all of them show some kind of a C zone. And then I'd also like to report that the GTS free track today, Finger Lakes, the very first pick that they had, just won the race by about 5 lengths.
Oh, that's nice to hear. So can't be CC. That's probably how they pronounce that one there. CC has some special meaning to me, but anyway, we'll get into all that some other day. Maybe the CC understands why if CC is watching. But in any case, let's take a look at race number 10 again, get that free picks at Finger Lakes. There is a description wherever you're watching. If not, you can head over to horseracingtoday.net. You'll see some links over there in the description on our YouTube channel. There's a link there too. Kindly use that so they know where it is you're coming from, right? 100% par plus number for Roan Burgundy. I don't know that anything in horse racing is 100%, but that means in our 10,000 simulations, 10,000 out of 10,000 times, it produced a speed figure of 74 or more. That's the Brisnet average speed figure for the horse that wins, but that was on turf. So maybe kind of downgrade that a little bit. Our trip handicapping shows us a race that everybody wants to be middle forward with all these scratches. Kind of a tight race. 2 in here that are unlike the others. The 7, the EP type, has perhaps the best versatility. Early on, pretty tight window, 10 points between first and worst. Terry, so a little bit of a misstep, a block, something along those lines. You could be first, you could be sixth. Late speed does also go to Ron Burgundy and Karch Aroth. Those two could be the difference in this race right here, Terry. And then of our top total pace horse, it does look like the 8 horse is 5 points better than Roan Burgundy, who's 4 points better than Factor You and Me in. So maybe in the short field, a 2-8, exacta box, ice cold, however you like them. Terry, how do you like them?
I like the 2 Roan Burgundy. Won 2 out of the last 3 races, has a high speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. The 5 Amusing Mischief has finished the money in 2 out of the last 3 races, winning 1 of the starts, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. I like the 8 as my third choice. He has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 35% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route, and has a high percentage winning jockey. And the 1 is my first my long shot, Factor You, Me, and Me in. He has a high percentage winning jockey, drops in class today, and they added Lasix today.
I'm going to go with the 2 horse Roan Burgundy, 100% chance, Terry. Absolutely locked in USDA chance to go at par or better. But this horse won his last race with ease. I don't think he left everything he needed on the track, so he still has plenty remaining for the second start after a layoff, which is likely to be better than the last one. So maybe he does have a 100% chance to run a par figure or better. The 8 horse Karcharoth, I probably screwed that all up in there, but this is a horse that does have the top total pace by 5 points. Also, really robust opportunity to get a par plus score and an overlay with one of the strongest C zones. So from our perspective, all of our exclusive data that you can't get anywhere else, which is why you want to tell all your horse player friends to watch this show, tells us Karcharoth is a real factor here. Amusing Mischief, which really should be the name of the show, Terry, I feel like, should be your pace setter today. Benefits the most, I think, from Morning March scratching out of this spot. And then finally, I'm going to go with winning on the weekends, although it's Tuesday. Kind of feels like a Monday. But this time, last time out, this horse, Terry, showed something last time out that hadn't shown before. And maybe we're going to see a continuation of that. But look at this huge pop in that early speed, Terry. The horse really tried to do something it hadn't done before. You see that kind of a jump, that could be an indication of a horse that's going to get to the front today, stay there today, especially since it's another one that's got a little bit of a weight break that could benefit the horse by as much as a length. All right. It was a marathon show. Kind of went faster than I thought, Terry, because now we're at the last race today, and it is the 11th spot.
Yep, and we're going to shorten up to 6.5 furlongs as maiden claiming race, 12,500. And it's a purse of $19,000 for registered Pennsylvania-bred maidens, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
Before we move on to the profile of a winner, real quick, I'm going to point out, you notice in my past performances, I have some of these lines in here, but the first one is, you see a Y there, or you see either Y or N or maybe. So yes, no, maybe. And that basically is when I look down here at the speed figure, I'm looking to see if this horse has ever won a race in that number of 62 or better. You can see this horse has gotten there. So a yes is if it can do it. A maybe is, so usually a yes, if it's 1 or 2 points below that, I'll give it a yes too. So let's say it was 61 or 60, it would still be in the yes category. Anything greater than that, but within 5 would get a maybe. Anything that is more than 5 points away gets a no. It's pretty early on, but I've been chronicling this for the last about 2 weeks now. And I would say roughly 90% of the horses that have won get that yes designation. So when you're doing your handicapping, pay attention to that speed number. Even if it's way down here and it's way in its past and it doesn't look like it's anywhere near that form, those horses still tend to pop up in there and have a good shot to win. So It's just something I'm learning, something that I do and Terry does. We monitor all of our work and all the statistics and data that we put up in there and the way that we monitor them. And anything that we learn, we're going to share with you because we want everybody to be a better handicapper and make some more money. Kind of feels like Monday should be a new Neil Young song. Yeah, maybe we should make one, Terry and I. Terry's got some good pipes. Sing a song for us, Terry, that maybe should be a Monday.
Well, I don't know if I want to sing a song, but I want to thank Grace Master for talking about how good we did at Churchill Downs last week. We did really well, and that's true. Actually, my pick of the day won, and I was very happy with how we did. So,
indeed, yeah. Well, we're going to maybe do something special at Churchill on Thursday. Terry and I, again, are going to talk about that. But right now, we're going to talk about the race shape here. 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, and 10. Ooh, those guys have struggled so far to be remotely close, within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. 1, 6, and 11, they want to get to the front. A lot of times in these kind of fields, get to the front, you get your first win. That's a lot of times how it works out. Treasure Peace is one that should have a good shot to be there. And at the 6.5 furlongs, Terry, the rail is a pretty strong place to be. In fact, it has an inside to outside bias with 27% of the horses going wire to wire. Petite Pomme Fritte. That's another one that should be up there, but plenty of them will give chase, but they're all on the outside. So the one should have that early race advantage. The late race edge goes to Chance Occurrence. That one should be a part of the mix. It just has to be careful not to get caught wide through that opening turn. If it does, it could be difficult to overcome. The inside horse and the outside horse, 10 points clear of all the ones in between. So this race looks like, from a total pace perspective, inside or outside, make your pick, Terry.
Well, I went with an outside horse to start with, Lucky Opportunity. The 11, she has a high percentage winning trainer, Scott Lake, and has a high percentage winning jockey, Paco Lopez, and appears to be able to go the distance. And then I like that inside horse, number 1, Treasure Piece. She finished third versus Tougher in her last race, drops a class today. The rail post is winning at a 22% clip, and she has the highest speed, last race speed rating. Then I go to the outside again with the 12, Chance Occurrence. She ran second in her last race. Her best start speed as fast as among today's starters. She has a high percentage winning trainer. My long shot is Whiskey Street Blues. The 5 finished third in her last race at Parx Racing. I cannot make any other bets because I'm out of money.
Well, I'm not out of money. I can make a bet, Terry. So that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to do 50-cent trifecta, 112, 111, 12, 156, 11, 12. I think the one gets this race, Terry, because of that big rail advantage in here. And this is the absolutely most green go horse on the card. So not only does it get the rail advantage, which is a big one, also has that speed, which is an advantage. But look, strong C zone, very good chance to be on the lead, top par plus, and our simulated favorite. A lot of advantages. Chance Occurrence on the outside. That Buffalo Girl is going to be closing in the third start after a layoff. And last time out, that horse was 2 seconds faster than its prior start. The only other par plus horse in the race. Your top pick, Lucky Opportunity, classic third start after a layoff. It too ran faster last time out, only by about a second. So it looked to me like the 12 showed more improvement. And then the 6 horse, Dixie Music. This one has proven it can hit par for this level and was consistently better and was considerably better, not consistently, considerably. I should be able to read it if it's typed in Word, right? It's not even my handwriting, but it was considerably better last time from the middle of the race to the finish line. And we talked about earlier, when you see horses with that sort of improvement in your middle to outpace right here, you see when 10 points clear, 13 points clear, that's usually momentum that carries over to the race that'll show up here in the next time they do some PPs. Here are our full picks for the day on this pretty big race day on this Tuesday of 11 races. Terry, first race, Terry had the 3 horses to winner and the 5 horse. So Terry's on pace to have 11 winners in 11 races. Hopefully he accomplishes that feat. I think the closest I ever came was at Delaware Park on a 10 horse card. I had the first 9 as my top pick, and then the second pick won the last leg. What's the closest you've come to top pick winning every race?
I did at Finger Lakes 8 out of 8, and at Golden Gate Fields I did 8 out of 9 one time.
Beautiful. I've never done a full sweep. They should not have had that last race at Delaware Park that day.
Well, in Finger Lakes, I was in a contest and I did 8 out of 8, and a lady also did 8 out of 8, but she won the contest. I forget what the rules were. I think because she made her picks before I did. So
that's how she got you. Or maybe the place horses. Maybe she had a little bit different place horses behind you.
Could be.
Second pick, I would have made. Who knows how all that stuff works out. All right, Terry and I will be back tomorrow. I think there's only 8 races at Delaware, so it won't be quite the marathon, but hopefully there will be plenty of winners in that card again. Churchill Downs will be Thursday, Epsom on Friday for Thomas and I. We'll be off on the weekend. And then the following week is Belmont Stakes at Saratoga. That should be a pretty interesting race. Not all the horses have been declared yet, but a lot of big names, I'm sure. I think Seize the Gray is a pretty good chance. They said he's going to be in there after the Preakness win. Also read that Fierceness is training well, perhaps for its return. And that horse is in every other horse race. So the Kentucky Derby race was the lights off race. That means the Belmont might be the lights on race. Are they about to do race number 3, Terry? Yeah, they are.
Yes, they are.
We'll do race number 3, and then we'll part ways for this terrific Terry Tuesday. Right now, the one horse in race number 3, Check My 6, is the favorite. He's at 9-5. Next up is the 6 horse. My 4 horse at 3-1. Where's the value? The value is with Majestic Lion, the 4 horse. That one we have as low as 1-2, and it's 3-1. So if you're thinking about just a win bet, I'm hoping that's the winner, but we'll find out. The way Terry's rolling, it's going to be Thistle. He'll make it an opening pick 3, top pick, if they can ever get Thistle in the gate. Looks like they finally did get Thistle in the gates. So I only have the 3 and the 4. So I don't need, hopefully one of those wins to keep me alive in my pick 4. And they should be off and running in just a moment here. And indeed they are off and running. And the 6 horse has galloped out. Well, the 1 horse has tried to get to the lead. So Check My 6, that favorite, has gotten to the lead. And then the 6 horses in the stalking position, you got about a 1 length difference between that and the 2. Booster Shot. And then the 3 horse, First Money, being next up in line. Looks like so right now, yes, you got the 4 horse Majestic Lion, but that horse, I don't know what happened to him. He's way off the pace. I hope they run like a 21. He's going to have no chance. The 6 and the 1 continue to pull the cart. Then you have the 2 horse in the 3rd position. The 3 horse, First Money. That one's making a pretty aggressive move. They ran really fast in the opening quarter. Well, not too fast, 23-2. We saw them run some similar type fractions in the opening couple of races. This race looks like it's going to be come down between the 1 and the 6 again. But the 2 horse is showing some interest in here. The 3 horse is kind of fading off. Here comes the 5. My pick 4 is going to be completely done. The 2 favorites continue to duke it out on front unless that 4 horse has something he hasn't shown yet. Hey, here he comes. He's coming like he's going to get blocked, though. So any chance he had to get into the mix just ended completely. So it looks like Terry is going to go 3 for 3 to start the day. He's going to go 6, then the 1. Maybe the 2 is going to get up in there next. Tough to tell. 6, 1, 5 horse is going to be in the mix. So 6, 1, and then 5, 4. 6, 1, 5, and 4 in race number 3. Terry off to a blistering hot start. Keep that in mind as the rest of the day unfolds, folks. Terry, on your terrific Terry Tuesday, starting off on fire. Any final words of wisdom before we roll out of here?
Yeah, I just want to wish everybody a great week and hope you're getting prepared for the Breeders' Cup. Belmont Stakes in a couple of weeks. And thank Race Masters for being involved with us today. And just give everybody and your family a hug and a kiss, and let them know that you love them. That's the way to go.
Yes, indeed. I mean, we saw some really sad news over the weekend in the PGA world with that young golfer taking his own life. So, I mean, don't take anything for granted.
No.
I noted that in the news, they said one of the guys that was playing with him that day said something was wrong. and he told the PGA officials, "Hey, keep an eye on Grayson." And so, if there's anybody in your life that needs a little bit of help, don't be afraid to reach out. It's not a sign of weakness; it's a sign of strength to be a leader. So certainly, we would make that note today, even though the PGA is not our thing. You see something tragic like that. Many of us are parents. I mean, it's unimaginable for those who haven't gone through it. So please, if you know anybody that needs a little bit of help, let them know you're thinking about them. Let them know that you're important. Let them know that at the end of the day, there's always God's grace, God's favor, and hopefully everything can end up in
the winner's circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us today. Hope Terry makes it 11 for 11. We'll find out tomorrow when we get back together for Delaware Park. Have a fantastic, terrific Terry Tuesday.